Hi everyone. So this is another list, and this time it's from the website Yardbarker, which I've never heard of. And before I get started, first of all, thank you if you're subscribed to my channel, and thank you to those that always comment and like the videos. It means a lot to me. And in case you don't know, I have two channels. The other one is Canadian Studmuffin, and on that channel today, I'm going to be unboxing a vinyl record that was gifted to me. And also on that channel, just in the last couple of days, my girlfriend Molly was down and we did a couple of kind of fun videos about my CD collection. So please check those out. So here we go. And as always, I love, it's not all about me, believe it or not, and my thoughts. I love hearing from the viewers, and even, disagreeing with me is fine. So 25 albums from great artists. Let's see if I agree with these. The ones I've heard. Okay, so my viewers will have to let me know if you're a Kanye West fan. Jesus is King from 2019. As always, you can pause that if you want to read it all. But they are saying it was a disappointment. So let me know if you were disappointed. Outcast Idlewild from 2006. So, okay, this was the follow-up to Speaker Box, The Love Below, a double album, which I actually bought back in the, probably the early days of whatever year that was, I think on CD. And I liked it, yeah. But I never heard this particular album, so let me know if it was disappointing. Lady Gaga, Art Pop, 2013. Never heard it. And I guess that was the follow-up to Born This Way. Self-Portrait by Bob Dylan, I've heard, of course. I can see it being kind of a pretty big shock back in 1970. But I think over the years, it's kind of grown in stature a little bit. I don't think it's ever going to be most people's favorite Bob Dylan album, but it's got some good stuff on it. So it was, a good Bob Dylan album, not a great one for me. The Beatles' Yellow Submarine, in a way, I remember when it came out, and I was thinking, you get all excited, oh, it's a new Beatles album. And then you listen to it, and you're happy with side one, because it's got 4 new Beatles songs, that never heard before. And 2, of course, Yellow Submarine and All You Need Is Love, which we'd heard before. And then side 2 was disappointing, especially when being a 58, 68, 11-year-old, just all of the orchestration from the film, which is good, not that I'd even play it that much today, but it was disappointing. But it was a soundtrack to the film, so now it isn't disappointing, really. So their first album, Radiohead, Pablo Honey, was disappointing. I thought I had it on CD years and years ago. After I bought the Benz, I bought Pablo Honey. It was different. It wasn't as good as the Benz or even OK Computer later on. But I thought it was a good rock album overall, especially for a debut. And so I'd love other Radiohead fans' thoughts on it. Do you think it's a good album? I think it is. Metallica and Lou Reed, Lulu. I am a huge Lou Reed fan. I have all of his albums, even Lulu. I'm not so much a Metallica fan, but I respect them. And, I think they're a good band. And I've only listened to Lulu once all the way through for my other channel for the Does This Album Suck series. And at the end of it, I said the album doesn't suck. It wasn't one of my favorites. It got kind of, it's kind of listening to it, two albums, got kind of tiresome. But I liked some of the songs on it, and it's not a terrible album for me. It's just not one of my favorites. Daft Punk, Human After All, I've never heard. Let me know, you Daft Punk fans out there, if this was a disappointment. Yeah, I only bought maybe one or two Madonna albums back in the 80s, so by by this time I'd totally given up on her. MDNA. I've never even heard of that album. So, yeah. So I guess it was the follow-up to Hard Candy. Yeah, I never bought Ray of Light or Confessions on a Dance Floor. The Flaming Lips. I like some of their stuff. I've never heard this particular album. I'm not even going to try to pronounce. Is that the four, where it's four albums? I don't know, but there's one where it's four albums and you have to play them at the very same time on four different turntables or something. Yeah, I've never heard this album. Let me know if it's a good one or a bad one. I've never heard any Lil Wayne albums. I've heard some of his music, unfortunately. And yeah, this is, I guess, where he's playing the guitar. Michael Jackson, Michael. Yeah, I was buying Michael Jackson albums back in the day, but by 2010, I'd kind of given up on him, and I don't think that album did very well. But let me know, you Michael Jackson fans, if you like it or not. Chance the Rapper, never heard. The Big Day. Was never a big Van Halen fan. But I did listen to this album for the Does This Album Suck series, and I think at the end of it I said that it sucked. It was just the production, and it was, yeah, I just did not enjoy it. I love their debut. But besides that, I'm not a very big Van Halen fan. Sun Kill Moon, I've never heard of. But maybe you have. And I respect Taylor Swift, but I've never listened to any of her full albums. I just know some of her songs. So Reputation. Taylor Swift fans out there, was that a disappointment for you? Yeah, Steely Dan. Once again, I was never much of a fan of Steely Dan, although I like some of their singles, reeling in the years especially. So Two Against Nature was, I guess, a disappointment for some Steely Dan fans. Yeah, Chris Cornell, I never followed his solo career or even the bands he was in, Soundgarden and Audio Slave. But I've heard that Scream was not a very good album. Yeah, I loved, or I liked R.E.M. a lot. My favorite of theirs is Atomic Automatic for the People. But by this time, I kind of lost interest in them, and I was reading bad reviews of this album, so I never even really checked it out. I heard it was kind of boring, and so I had no real desire to listen to it. But I'm sure there's fans of Around the Sun. Once again, yeah, the Smashing Pumpkins, bought a couple of their albums. I like some of their recent music. I have one of their, it's got a really long title, and it's from about 3, 4 years ago. It's like an EP with 8 songs, and I really like it. But this one I've never heard. So let me know if you like it or not. Never a fan of No Doubt. Push and Shove 2012. Yeah, I bought some Eminem albums back in the day. Encore, I think, was my favorite, but I never did listen to Relapse. Yeah, so, oh, he took a long break after 2004's tepidly received Encore, which I liked. Not a fan of Justin Timberlake, but he's very talented. Man of the Woods. Not a fan of Jewel. I believe this was her pop album, or was it country? Or, yeah, her dance. Yeah, her dance album, dance pop album. Jackson, Janet Jackson, once again, very talented, but I bought Rhythm Nation on vinyl way, way, way back in the day, but I've never heard 20YO. I guess that's it. Yeah. So I would love your thoughts on these albums. It's not a, I wouldn't say it's a like Rolling Stone, because like I said, I've heard that Steely Dan's Two Against Nature was kind of mediocre, and Van Halen 3 for sure. Yeah, Michael Jackson's a Michael. So thank you for watching, and I really look forward to your comments and your thoughts on some of these albums I've never heard. Bye.